For months, I've been dreaming of photographing the breath of a red-winged blackbird amongst the marshes of Central California. It's an incredibly beautiful bird, and in the correct setting, this image would be powerful. To do this, you need 3 conditions to come to life, and today I would pray that all 3 come together. I discovered this area photographing mist rolling off of the water with some different types of waterfowl. It was an incredible experience photographing against these incredible dark bokeh backgrounds. At the end of that last video, I discovered a location right in the same area as this that hosted a flock of red-winged blackbirds, which is where I'll be going today. If you haven't seen the other video yet, make sure to check it out at the end of this one to see how I captured it. In order to get shots of bird breath, you need not only the right temperature, but you also need a very backlit subject and a solid background that the breath can stand off against. While red-winged blackbirds are common in my area, I often find myself in unsuitable scenarios to photograph them in. This location, however, would prove to be different. In order to get into position in time, I had to arrive pre-sunrise and started making my way over into the correct spot. The walk over to the little pocket of marsh I was going to was gorgeous. At this time of year, the Central Valley is green from all of the rain, and little stretches of hills and grassland bordering the marshes are life-giving to walk amongst. Before arriving at the spot where the red-winged blackbirds were located, I ran across a little ruby-crowned kinglet and snapped off this shot of the cute little bird. Something about hiking out amongst nature right before sunrise is always life-giving to me. The air has a certain freshness to it, and hopefully that freshness would be highlighted today in the images we were about to capture. Arriving at the marshland's side, I began to set up. In order to choose a location, we need to shoot as backlit as we possibly can to the sunrise while still being close enough to the birds to photograph them up close. This is one of the reasons I chose this little patch of marsh to photograph them in. It's tiny and there isn't too much distance for them to get lost back into. So ideally, this will provide a great chance at getting bird breath up close and personal. In addition, we will have solid backgrounds of marsh reeds at eye level, leading to not only a pleasant looking background, but also a blurred background that will allow the breath to stand off and be seen clearly. As I observed them flying around from reed to reed, I was able to scout out which ones they were most likely to choose to sing from. Red-winged blackbird males are incredibly territorial and will call for hours a day defending their little patch of swamp. Before the sunrise lit up the whole marsh, I got a beautiful image that I liked in grayscale, highlighting a red-winged calling out into the darkness. While I was sitting by the marsh side, amazingly there was a moment in which a coyote walked right by me on the side of the hill. Due to my camouflage and being still, the coyote never seemed to notice me, and while I didn't get any good angles, it was still a fun encounter to have. The majestic sun continued to rise over the hill, and as this was happening, the marsh came to life even more, and my opportunity to photograph red-winged blackbirds was here, as I began to fire off shots at different angles. I captured this beautiful image of one calling in the distance, as well as a much more immersive birdscape type image that wound up being one of my favorites of the day. While looking around for other blackbirds to photograph, I noticed that one took a deep dive down into the marsh reeds. I spotted my first female, and even better, a small nest woven into the thicket around them. Soon, I'm sure that nest will be filled, especially with spring around the corner. As I waited patiently for the next 30 minutes, 2 different red-winged blackbird males would fly to the center of the marsh to sing over their territory. One worked its way especially close and started singing. Taking advantage of the opportunity presented, I pulled off some surreal images of him singing his heart away at sunrise. Capturing red-winged blackbird breath was an unbelievable experience and one I'll never forget. Ultimately, it landed me some winning shots that so perfectly represent this amazing singing bird of nature. What an adventure, and I'm thankful for the details I get to see in the meticulously crafted creation. Thank you for watching. I hope you check out the previous part of the video here, and I hope you consider subscribing. I'll see you guys next time.